Right, okay. I think we're recording again. I did a test run and to see whether it would work. Yeah, so this video is going to be about a question in which, I've been talking about questions and things. This question is more related to a paper that Kayla has to write. It's to do with God and where he is when we need him, in times of trouble, etc. And obviously then in that you would have to look towards oppositional views, atheists' views, possibly other religions' views as well, which I haven't seen on her paper yet. She's only written part of it, so she's written about an opening paragraph, which I think is really well written. And then it goes on to say some more about. They're looking at an atheist, a particular atheist. I don't remember the name now. Begins with an E. Surname anyway begins with an E. And talking about her views and so what she's saying. And what comes across strongly from that atheist point of view, and what has come across strongly from me witnessing other people, talking to other people about it who aren't believing in God. I won't say atheists as strongly as that. Some are not really aware of the situation. They say, so, if God is powerful, almighty, strong, and he's got all this power and he can do anything that he wants, then why does he let bad things happen? Why does he let people die, people get raped, natural disasters, all the loveliest parts of life, really, all those sorts of things. Why does this happen? And my honest opinion, my honest answer to their question is, I don't know. Now, when I say I don't know, that's obviously a flaw, and that's obviously like, right, okay, well, your religion's wrong then, so I don't have to believe you because you say you don't know the answer. But if you sat around and you listened to me a little bit longer, you would understand that I'm going to say I don't know because I don't assume myself to be that high in knowledge that I know everything that's going to happen. The thing is, what you have to understand is what I have grasped, and I don't think people find the hardest to grasp. I find it quite easy, but most people find it hard to grasp the fact that when you're thinking about God, you're thinking about him, the Father, the whatever, that really this is not true, that he is not a he is not a he, he's not a she, he's not a being that we can relate to or understand or see reflected around us in a physical manner. And he's not really that related to our, emotions, feelings, how we see things, do things. Because we were made in the image of God, in the fact that we are spiritual beings, as opposed to physical beings. But not in the respect that, we are exactly what God is like, but God's a little bit more powerful, he doesn't do anything. The thing is that it really comes across is that you have to see that the Lord is not understandable to us, because we are what we call finite beings. Our brain sees things to a finite measure. We can see so far into the horizon, so to speak, metaphorically, but also physically. We can see so far into the horizon, but we can see no further. We can only see so much finitely. Whereas Lord is an infinite being. There is this thing that goes on, that there is you can imagine two parallel lines through space, and you can think, right, so one parallel line is time, and we know it right now. And the other parallel line is God, and what he's doing. And the things never cross, because the Lord is timeless. There's no limitation, there is no finite, here we are, this is what we're doing now, let's focus on the now with the Lord. There is none of that. There is the plan, the tapestry, the what is going to happen, and this is what we're going to go to that result. But again, I'm describing it finitely, yet that I should not be describing it finitely, because it's an infinite thing. I can't describe it infinitely because you wouldn't understand it. I won't understand it. But I've got to put it into some context. So I've got to say You know, you're carrying on, blah blah blah, and you know, there isn't a result at the end. It's going to be there, and it's going to be there, and we're going to get to it. But the way that we have to get to it, we can't see that way that we have to get to it, because if we were to see the way that we have to get to it, our minds will not cope with what we have to see, because there's too much. You know, as I say, there's two paradoxes. You cannot cross parallel lines. Pardon me. You have to just say, at some point you have to say, I don't know the answer. Maybe for me, that's one of the hardest things ever, because I always like to be right. I like to know the answer. I like, you know, this is the answer. I know it. I'm right. But I don't know the answer. And when you say that to me, you say, so how can you say that your Lord exists then? If he goes and he says, you know, he lets these things happen. There's a particular one there that to do with some natural disaster that occurred, and the people that were killed were people that were in church, and the people that, you know, were saved, so to speak, were, you know, sinners, prostitutes, I think was the actual red light district situation. But you see, you're looking at it as, bam, here we are, this is what we're doing now, and we're looking at them and saying, wow, those people have died. That's terrible, you know. In all relevance and relation, you have to think, yeah, this is the here and now, this is the one happening. But look on the bigger scheme of things. What is really occurring? And it's frozen. I don't know if you've actually got any of this. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on from here. So the great big scheme of things, and you know, you can't see everything that's going to happen. And when these people have died, yes, why would it happen to them particularly? If, you know, if they're the children of God, why doesn't God protect them? Think about it. When you die, if you're a Christian and you believe, where are you going to go? You're going to go to heaven. You're going to go be with the Father. So, really, death is not an obstacle. It's not something we should fear, or, hey, I don't hate death. I'm not afraid of death. I mean, I don't want to die, and I don't want to live. There's two, you know, I want to just do what God has intended. I have no preference. You know, if you said to me today, you know, you're going to die tonight, naturally there'll be that intuition, like that first little bit, split second, I'll be like, I'm gonna die. But then there'll be, you know, the plan, the thought that, you know, I'm going to be with my Father. See, I'm calling him Father now, but I'm going to be with the Lord. And the thing is that, you see, these people have been taken. There is, you know, the thought that maybe he takes the people that he wants to take right now. We all have to die somehow. Some way, sometime we're going to die. So, why not then? What makes, you know, nothing makes one man greater than the other. So why should it be the sinners that die from natural disasters and the others from in their sleep? There's no way to say it. There's no way you can say it. And I think it's all irrelevant, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's one thing that happens. And what I see is that people, everything that goes wrong in the world, it's like, oh, you know, God, you know, why have you done this to me? Why have you done this to me? You know, I've worked hard, I've done this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, stop. Stop living with the present as being the massivest obstacle of your life. Look around you and say, look, in the future, in the bigger scheme of things, this one thing that's happening to me may make something amazing happen somewhere else. May make something amazing happen in the future. You know, I have to suffer what? For what? Even if it's a whole lifetime, which most of us do suffer a whole lifetime in one way or another. We are setting a seed for something that is great. And if you could just get out of this mindset that everything that happens has to be justified by human and by finite reasoning without looking into the bigger picture, then you could see so much more beauty. And I just wish that people could see it. Because, you know, everything that we say is wrong, this is happening, bad. But look into your life, really. I look into my life and I say, oh, you know, there's times where I'm like, everything is wrong, and I'm shouting at God, and I'm saying why, and you know, he will say to me, look at it, look at the positives and the negatives. If you look at the positive and negatives, you will see that the positives actually outweigh the negatives. That everything that is good is also God's fault. Everything that is bad that's God's fault. Then in relation, we'll say that everything is good is also His fault. And there's one thing that really sets in my mind is, when I was younger, I used to have a lot of panic attacks. I still do. But I've vividly remembered the times that I would get lost in the supermarket from my mother, or my mum would be late by 5 minutes. Literally, this was still a panic attack. That would seem for like 5 years for me, though. You know what I'm saying? And in those times, even though I didn't understand Lord, I didn't understand. I don't see it like I see it now. I would say, Lord, help me, you know, little child, just, you know, perhaps not as Lord, you know, that I'm calling him Lord, but, you know, help me, you know, I want my mum here, come on, let's go. And, you know, every single time, there was discomfort within me, and then there would be the panic, the stress, and then when you see your mother, you know, come around the corner, you leave. But something stopped me totally going crazy. And that was, in my opinion, the Lord. And you know what? I don't really care if you don't believe in the Lord and that you think that I'm talking a load of crap. But every time He brought my mother to me, every time that I prayed, yes, it may not have gone the way that I prayed for it to happen, but one way or another, something worked out. And if you just, you know, instead of saying, look, these people died, look, these people were saved. You know, He did not kill us all. He did not kill all of them. He took those people that were already saved, and He took them because He knew that He could take them. They could be with Him. Also with that, though, his point is that it says that the sinners were left. Are we not all sinners, though? How can you judge one person better than another? Even the person that goes to church every week is a sinner. And the person that doesn't go to church every week may not be a sinner. In this way, everybody's a sinner. But just because they do not go to church every week does not make them not of God, that they haven't been saved. You know, it's all, you know, it's all seen in the wrong way. In my, you know, to me, it's wrong because the way that people see things, it's just, it's what they want to see. It's not what's there. If you could just look a little bit further than the finite little box that you live in, and you could just think, look around, look into the future, look and look into this more. Think, you know, yeah, there's this, you know, it makes sense if you really think about it. God is not a genie. He's a Lord. Pardon me. He's a Lord. He's not a genie. He's not there to do your wishes and make it for you. He's there to make things right, to make you happy when it's in His plan. And the thing is, if you were to love the Lord and to know that you, as long as the Lord's will was done, then you would be happy in respect of that. I'm going to rant on and on and on, so I'm going to stop now. But I need to talk about that. There's so much more I could go on to, but I'm not going to. Thanks for listening. And you know, you can listen to these things even if you're not religious. It might help you just a little bit to understand where I'm coming from, where I'm based at, and to just see that there is another option to always being alone. Because when in your darkest hours, and you have the Lord in your life, it's amazing because you can just say,